Never say never. I'm learning that lesson a lot lately. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this video public or if I'm going to keep it private, but I feel like it needs to be done to make myself more accountable. Where do I start? I guess in case I make it public, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Desiree, Des for short, and I'm going to apologize for the hair this morning. I'm going to go get it done today, and my girl doesn't like me to wash my hair on the days I get it colored. So I'm hoping that other videos in this series, I will look a lot better. But if not, so be it. I'm doing it for myself. So going back to never say never. I've been struggling with my weight for, wow, probably the last 7 or 8 years. For those of you who know me, you remember this skinny girl who could never put on weight in high school. I was 98 pounds when I finally got married, and I was so skinny that I had to gain 30 pounds prior to being able to carry my son to full term. I had a couple of miscarriages prior to that. Regarding the weight, it has slowly crept up over the years. It got worse during COVID, which I really don't understand why, because I lost my job at the very beginning of COVID. I was a director at a health center, and I was more active during COVID than any other time that I can remember. My best friend and I were rarely home. Apple picking, blueberry picking, cherry picking. When we were home, we were canning, we were shopping, we were up at the lake, on the boat, lounging in the pool. Well, lounging isn't really expending any calories, but you get it. I mean, I was more active at that time, and I still continued to gain the weight. I'm at a point now where I know if I don't get a handle on it, I'm going to end up becoming diabetic. And the thought of having to give myself a needle every day, possibly multiple times a day, scares the shit out of me. And for those of you that know me, that's probably, you're thinking, what the fuck? I probably have 10 or 12 tattoos. So, but the tattoo needle is totally different than a needle that, you're jabbing yourself with, or a needle where you have to get a shot. So with that said, I'm that kind of needle phobic. Diabetes does run in my family. My grandfather died from complications from diabetes. My aunt ended up having diabetes. I have no idea about my biological father because I haven't spoken to him in years. I have had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease for, oh my God, let's see, I'm 58, so I'm going to say for about 25, 26 years now. And NAFD has nothing to do with fat or being fat. It has a lot to do with sugars. And when I say sugars, it's not just candy over the counter. It has to do with the way that your body breaks down carbohydrates into sugars. So, yeah, I've done liver detox. I take a liver detox. I have tried the castor oil. I haven't drank the castor oil. I've done the castor oil in the belly button. I've done the castor oil pouches, or not pouches, pads, whatever, the one that you sleep in. I've done the detox pads for your feet, trying to pull toxins out of my body. I have done the Benieve weight loss products. I've done Obvi. I have done, what the hell's that one? Primal Queen. I haven't done Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers. I've done a version of keto. But that was really hard because I'm going to tell you, I'm a carb addict. I am a carb addict. I love my chips. I love my Doritos, potatoes, rice. Those are the things that kill me, and quite possibly could literally be killing me if I don't get this under control. I've been good trying to get ready for this journey. And when I say, when I first started the video, I said never say never. The reason I said that is because for a couple of years now, while everybody was on the weight loss products, semaglutide, tirzepatide, I can't even think of the other 2 or 3. I always said, I'd never do that. I'm going to do it naturally. I have a treadmill. I'm looking at my ski machine. I have a Pilates board. I have a twisty machine. I don't even know what the fuck they call it. I have the bands that I can't think of the word, act like the ropes in the gym. I have had a gym membership. I've gone to the gym, every morning before the crow gets up. It's not working. So with that being said, and I even talked to my doctor last year. We decided at that time it was not, it just wasn't an option that I was willing to take. And so with all of that being said, Wegovy came out with a pill, and I have decided to go ahead and start. I know some of my friends are going to be, really disappointed because we've talked about the side effects. Others are going to be okay with it, and they're going to help me along on this journey. And those that are not going to get on board and either support me or cheer me on, I don't need to hear the negativity. I have done the research. I've probably done more research on this drug than anybody that I know. And I've been prepping myself for about 2 weeks now. I have the electrolytes. I have the protein shakes. I have the ginger chews and the peppermint tea for the nausea. I bought the Bioptimizers, the magnesium Bioptimizers, to keep my system regular. I have the Mira Fiber. I have the Mag 07. I don't think there's anything that a doctor or nutritionist that I've spoken to or followed hasn't said or suggested that I haven't bought. So I'm ready for this. Not gonna lie, I'm scared. I'm not gonna say scared. I'm more nervous about the possible side effects. But I joined a couple of support groups. There are people in there that have had pretty much every side effect that could possibly come from this medication, and there are others that have been on it for weeks or months that have not had one side effect. So I think really it all boils down to how you prep, and the mindset. And, are you going to take it seriously? Are you going to use it as a tool, or are you going to use it as a crutch? So, at first, I'm not going to lie, I'm going through the HERS program. I decided I didn't want all the bullshit with insurance, playing, God, and having to answer, 200 question questionnaire for them to determine whether or not I was eligible for it. My insurance does cover it. There are people that I work with that are on it, and or their spouses. Um, I just didn't want to deal with all that. I don't want people second guessing my decisions. This is a decision that I'm making, and I'm making it for myself. And I am setting my goal. I'm going to use it as a tool. I'm not going to use it as a crutch. I have no intentions of being a long time, lifetime user. Today is May 17th. And I am giving myself, I'm not going to start it until May 27th, 10 days, because my granddaughter and I are going to Florida on vacation next week. And if I do have any side effects, I don't want to have them while I'm on vacation with her. This vacation is for her, and she needs to enjoy it to the fullest. So we get home on the 26th. I will start it on the 27th. I don't know if I'm going to do the videos, every single day. I know I'm going to do weigh-in Wednesdays. To make myself accountable. I am going to also keep a food journal, which I have been doing that. One of the girls at work suggested the Fitness Pal, which I like because once you put your foods in, it breaks down the macros for you, so you know how much protein, carbs, and fiber you're getting, and it keeps track of your calories. So I'll be able to see whether or not I'm in a calorie deficit, and keep track of, I'm more interested in keeping track of the protein and the fiber. Those are the three things they tell you to really focus on when you start the medications: your protein, your fiber, and your water intake. Got the 40-ounce jugs. I got the loaded tea because no, I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not gonna lie, I love Coke, but I haven't had a soda in probably 5 weeks. About 5 weeks. I switched over to the loaded teas. They do have caffeine in them. No calories, no sugar. They have vitamins B and K, I think. So between that and the electrolytes, I should be fine. I do have seltzer. I bought seltzer water. I mean, I'm pretty well stocked with what I need to start out with. My proteins, I have a couple of cases of protein bars coming in case I can't get a meal down. They say nausea is part of it, and when you eat, you have to really focus on something that's nutrient dense, because you're going to be eating a lot less. So I think I'm ready to start. And with that being said, my weigh-in the other day, I'm not sure how I'm going to do the weigh-ins because I have a Hume body pod, and you have to hold the bar, when you're on it, so that it does a total scan of your body. I'm not going to be able to show the scale while I'm on the scale. Maybe I might. The app is on this phone. Maybe I'll record on my other phone and show you guys, or show me if I'm just recording it for myself, the weight on the Hume app. I'm not sure. But my weight the other day, when did I weigh myself? 2 days ago? Yesterday. 2 days ago. So today is Sunday. I weighed myself Friday, and I was 207. It's not the biggest I've ever been, but it's definitely not the most comfortable. I am giving myself until the end of the year to get down to my goal weight of 150. My doctor said she'll be happy if I lose 30. I want to get down to 150 and then be able to start maintenance. I am not going to do the drug for maintenance. It's just behavioral changes, get myself back into the gym schedule or exercise schedule, change, the way I'm eating, which I've already started. I've been pretty much focusing on protein, fiber, and nutrient-dense foods the past week and a half to try to prep for this, so the transition will be easier. But with that being said, I hope you join me. I hope you cheer me on. And for those of you that are questioning whether or not you want to be on the drug or you're beating yourself up over it, they say we deal with food noise as we're going through this process, but we also deal with noise from outside, other people's opinions. What would people think of me? How are they going to react? Fuck them. Make the decision for yourself. And you're either going to be on it because you need to be on it and you need the help, or you're going to choose to do it another way, or you're going to choose not to do it at all. But my decision is I'm going to start. If this breaks my insulin resistance, that's what I'm looking for, and I can start really attacking the insulin resistance, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and cardiovascular disease runs in my family too. I haven't had any issues. My little brother has, and my sister has, along with, my grandparents. So I'm trying to, I guess maybe I don't want to call it a weight loss journey. I want to call it a health journey. Weight loss is just going to be part of it. So with that being said, thanks for being here, and maybe I'll see you later. Ciao.